Hello everyone, welcome to another Mayan Technologies video. Today we'll be showing you how to create the nonconformance process in Epicor. This process applies when a product or process fails to meet established requirements, whether related to specifications or quality standards. This could include defects in manufacturing, materials that don't meet certain criteria, or any other discrepancy that prevents a product from being acceptable for use or sale. To perform this in Epicor, we go to the Production Management module, then Quality Assurance, and finally, within General Operations, we'll find the Nonconformance screen. When we open it, we can see that the nonconformance process allows us to create transactions for materials within a job, operations, inventory materials, or even materials received from a supplier. For this example, we'll create a nonconformance for an inventory material. First, we indicate the type of nonconformance we want to create by clicking the icon next to New and selecting from the available options. Here, we'll use New Inventory. Next, we identify the operator reporting the issue, either by typing the employee number or by searching through the employee list. Then, we select the material that doesn't meet requirements. You can enter it directly or search by part number. Once selected, the description appears automatically. We then enter the quantity we want to report, for example, 1 unit. If the material is lot or serial tracked, this is where we'd specify that information. Next, we define the reason code. These are specific to each company. We also determine whether the system will automatically create the movement transaction or if an employee will handle it manually. Then we define where the material is coming from. Since we're reporting an inventory issue, we select the appropriate warehouse and bin. The system shows the available quantity in that location. Afterwards, we see these fields, to warehouse and bin. These fields are previously defined when we have the configuration of our site. When opening this screen, we will be able to see all the configurations that have been made for this specific site. In the Inventory module is where we can see that this information had already been previously defined. During nonconformance creation, we're essentially moving the material from inventory to inspection. That is why we see that in the inspection line, we are determining that our warehouse is inspection area and the bin is 1. Once we have this information, we can proceed to save. We can see that now our nonconformance transaction has been created. Next, the Quality Department performs the inspection in the Inspector Processing screen, where inspectors review pending records. We have inspection for operations, first articles, inventory, and material. Now, we must search for the transaction that we want to inspect. To do this, we go to the search icon and define what type of transaction we are looking for. In this case, we know that our transaction type would be for inventory, and depending on whether we know the part number, we could also insert it. Since we are in a very small database, I immediately know which number it is, so we select it, and the next step is that we must go to the tab where our information is located. In this case, since it is inventory, the information will be found in this tab, and here we can see that the same information that was previously entered in the nonconformance is displayed. After selecting the transaction, the inspector specifies their inspector ID, determines the accepted quantity, and decides where it should go, back to its original warehouse or bin, or, if rejected, to the failed quantities area. Here, we must specify why this quantity is being rejected and where it will go. That is, the warehouse and the bin. And remember that, just like in the nonconformance, this information will come from our site configuration, meaning that when we fail the nonconformance and start creating a DMR, it will take the information that we have defined for the DMR. Finally, when saving, we will see how the DMR number is created for this specific situation, and this is where we can begin the DMR process. I hope this video was helpful. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one.